What is up out there, Woodward Sports Network? This is Big D Energy. I am four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty alongside the professor, Terry Foster, in the house, and always my partner in crime, taking that ball straight up the middle.
I am a four-time Stanley Cup commentator. I didn't actually play, but
no, you are. You've watched it, and I actually want to get there. But Joique Bell in his lounger, as always.
In the lounge.
Speaking of that, how you
get the
lounge
lounge share?
Huh?
How do you get the lounge share?
Put it in the contract.
Okay.
Put it in the contract, exactly. So, gentlemen, I was out yesterday. Terry, you weren't here. Joique, you and Stick held the fort down. Obviously, we're missing the captain, Neal Ruhl, but we will be hearing from him. He's obviously on the road with the Oakland Grizzlies basketball team. He got to experience something pretty neat yesterday. They were off day, and they got to go to Oklahoma State, where our own Barry Sanders is getting inducted into the Ring of Honor. So,
congrats to him.
How is that happening now? That should have happened years ago.
Isn't that one of those things, Terry, that comes up and you go, wait, they didn't do that 20 years ago?
Right.
I thought it was like one of those given things. What's a given in sports? And you hear it and you go, wow, that didn't happen
Maybe
yet?
they were saving money or something.
They might. That must be it. And I just want to take a quick shout out to everyone who wished me congratulations on my journey yesterday, 6 years.
Yes, sir.
Saw you
Proud
too,
of
sir. And it's just, what I tell everybody is, you too. I'm not special. It's just what you want. If you want it hard enough, you can do it. So I try to lead the way that you can change. And here's the one thing: the four-time Stanley Cup observer,
right?
But you've also observed, in different lives. I was thinking about that. The different people, not only with the organization in town, but in the media and stuff like that. You've seen me in all different forms. So
I have, and in fact, I made a comment, Terry, about you the other day. I said, Darren, the cute little Canadian guy is back instead of gruff Darren McCarty.
Yeah,
I said that a few weeks ago.
I appreciate that, and that's what it is. The cute little kid that came across the border, right? Won all your hearts. But we're going to cover that today. Obviously, don't forget, everybody, the Turkey Games. Yes, the 2 front row ticket giveaway that we do at noon here on Big D Energy. Remember, you have to tune in 9 a.m. every day, Woodward, to the Morning Wood Show, and then at 3 o'clock. For the bottom line, they'll be giving away a chance to get into our Turkey Games. Now, we've talked about this before for the Squid Games, whatever. So red light, green light, egg target toss, and the honeycomb challenge, all qualified. So at noon, I will tell you, people out there, what the special word is, and we will take another entrance into Fish. What's that website or the email address?
turkeygames2021@gmail.com.
turkeygames2021.com. So keep listening, and at noon, we'll get to that. Obviously, we got Neal Ruhl coming up after the break. But last night in the NFL, something that sort of tied in, and the Dolphins beat the Ravens 22-10.
At this point, I'm gonna stop going for the team. The usual suspect. I was going for every time I go for a team who's to win a game, they lose. And so, you know what? This weekend, when we go down to Pittsburgh, I'm going for the Steelers. That's what I'm going for.
So you think you're a jinx?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. You should have listened to.
You know who else is a jinx in here? You know who else is a jinx? Stick is a jinx.
He is.
You know why he's a jinx? Because he came out with this stat yesterday that was great, right? He came up with this stat about Lamar Jackson, said that in the red zone in his career, he has 59 touchdown passes, he has 15 rushing touchdowns, and he has 0 picks. And what happens? As soon as he brings it up, he throws a pick in the red zone. On the last drive of the game for the Ravens, they go down, and they're in scoring position. They're in the red zone, and he throws a pick in the end zone. It's all because of Stick. It's Stick's fault. No one said anything. He had to bring it up. And he goes down there and throws his first
Now,
pick
you
in the
seem a
red
little
zone.
angry, man. Don't.
Because I was going for the
Are
Ravens.
you going to bust him up in the parking lot now?
We're going to talk after. We're going to talk
Wait,
after.
Terry, that sounds like if I didn't know Joique any better, that sounds like it's coming straight from a guy who lost money on the game. But my man don't even bet. But
if I did bet on the game, no.
Because usually
If I did.
Did you lose eggs or something?
No.
You're bitter like you lost
I
the
didn't
meal.
lose eggs. I didn't lose eggs. He just jinxed my guy.
Joique, but this brought me the question because I watched the game too. And this goes back to the second thing. We saw Odell Beckham Jr., who's been a topic of conversation here, lands with the LA Rams and Matt Stafford. To me, watching last night, it was so much more apparent that Baltimore was in need of an Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, you got.
It was.
I know Sammy Watkins and Hollywood Brown, but they didn't make the catches. They didn't bail out their quarterback and stuff like this.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins, He didn't come through when he needed to come through. He actually hindered the team where he, caught a slant route, fumbled the ball. They needed to score. They pick it up and they run it back for a touchdown. Now, I don't know if they could have scored a touchdown on that drive, or they would have kicked the field goal. But that was like a 14-point swing or a 10-point swing where they didn't get the 3 points and then they scored. And then they scored, 7, got the touchdown and the extra point. And now, you have points in the game to where now you can see the frustration on Lamar Jackson's face. He's getting pressure. He's getting sacked. No one's making plays for him. Defensively, they did well. They did well enough to win the game. But when you have defensive scores on the opposite side, it's hard to come back from that.
You saw it on the sideline as frustration. But to me, Terry, watching the game was so much more apparent. I was thinking, man, Odell Beckham would be a star on this team. I mean, he would be the number one receiver. Now he goes to the LA Rams. Is that a good?
If he behaves himself.
What's that?
If he behaves himself.
That's home for him.
So do you think that the Rams is a good situation for him with all that stuff? Do you think he could behave himself and share the ball?
I do not. I think the Rams are taking a huge risk because, you've heard addition by subtraction. This could be subtraction by addition. He scares me on a team that's already bonded, a team that the only distraction for the Rams is Matthew Stafford. Is he going to win a Super Bowl for them? That's the big distraction. Now Odell Beckham comes in. Now, is he going to like him, Stafford, as a quarterback? Is the old man going to throw out videos? Is he going to create a stink? That scares me a little bit. And maybe the Ravens said, you know what, dude's talented, but we'll take our chances without him.
But you know what? Right. Well, that's what the Ravens said, and then the Rams, like you said, we will know early on. They've proven that, haven't they? Proven that they brought in Deshaun Jackson, let him go for whatever reason. So if it doesn't work, I think that this is sort of a win-win for the Rams because if it doesn't work, then they just let him go at the sign that there is some power struggle. But Joique, you tell me.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
You tell me you think it's going to work.
I said the two best teams for him to go to was the Baltimore Ravens and then the Rams. And I said the Rams because he's saving money there. He already has a home there, that's where he lives. Now he's about to go back. He can stay in his house. He can play for a team he loves. He already has friends on the team, right? You had a team advocating for him to come there. So how you have players advocating for him to come there and you think he's going to be toxic in the locker room? But
because players believe in other players, and a lot of times this is my boy. There's no way he's going to be toxic.
Right. And so he's going to a good situation.
But he can be toxic.
Well,
who can't be toxic? Now we're talking the hypotheticals here. Let me say, they have no risk here. He's coming there. He signed a 1-year deal. So if they don't like him, they don't have to bring him back next year. They don't.
But they're trying to win this year.
They're all in. They're all in. Right? They're all in this year. I don't think there's another team in that's more all in than the Rams. They have Aaron Donald. They got Von Miller. They got Jalen Ramsey. They just went out and got Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp. You got Matthew Stafford leading the NFL in passing yards. How is this guy in any way, shape, or form going to hurt this team? Odell is only going to add value.
He's an ass. That's why.
Let me make it comparable. 2001. Who did we bring in to the Detroit Red Wings? And we won a cup that is known to be, I don't know, speak his own mind, sort of run to his own beat. Brett Hull? This is sort of, but it works for a time being. Guys like this have a I guess, an expiration date. Right? So for this year to go in to win, Odell Beckham's not stupid. He's smart enough to know what he's walking into, where immediately it's not all about him. I think it might work to the fact of what Joique has said with his personal experience, that if he goes to the team where there's some respect of other guys in there, they have that locker room that I think can contain this guy.
And listen, his biggest concern was...
Because he's going to change his stripes a little bit, right? He ain't going to be the same.
No, he's not, man. He wants to go into a team where he can be not... He wants to be the guy, but he wants to contribute, right? And he wants to be on a team that's a contender, right? So he's coming in on a one-year deal. Let me see, up to work. It's up to $4.25 million, $500K signing bonus, $750K for the rest of this season, and another $3 million available if the team base incentives for how they finish the regular season in the postseason. And so it's a great deal for the LA Rams. It's a great deal. I mean, the deal that Cam just signed, deal is better than this deal. Come on, so
we'll see. The best thing is time will tell, and we'll see what it is. Does this make Cooper Kupp, instead of 5 yards open, 10 yards open? Who knows? But also the big news, I don't know, want to get your thoughts on Cam Newton back to Carolina. So
it's great.
So they're paying quarterback. Like, Cam was here, they brought other guys in, Sam Darnold, stuff like this. Now they're back to Cam. What do you make of that?
What I make of it is we made a mistake. We thought Cam couldn't help us win, and we're going to try new avenues to see if we can come up with something. Now it's not working. It's like, hey, let's get the old gang back together and see if we can win with Cam Newton. Because Cam Newton, his biggest problem was injuries. So if he can stay healthy, perhaps he can help that team. Plus, he's familiar with him. It's sort of home for him.
Let me ask you a question. So, are you telling me that we should have brought Cam Newton to Detroit? Is that what you're saying?
They should have brought Cam Newton to Detroit?
No, he's talking as if he was Carolina Panthers.
He said we messed up.
He said we. I asked the question, what do you make of Carolina bringing back? And Terry said, Carolina is saying
we messed up.
This has nothing to do with Detroit.
Okay.
It's about Carolina.
All right, making sure. So, all right.
I listen.
Right. Yeah. So they bringing him in. Would you have paid him $10 million in incentives?
It's $1 million a game.
You know what? With the way the quarterbacks are getting paid, why not? I'm desperate. I'm trying to get back on the map, and I think this is the guy that can do it. You don't worry about money. If you can fit it under the cap, yeah, I'd do it. Under that circumstance, probably another team, no, I would not pay him $10 million. But Carolina might be the only one where I would do that.
Do you think the $10 million though is so? Say, Joique, we should have been 6, but it's like, sorry for what we did to you, Cam, and here's a little bit of extra because here's a little bit of extra. We know you only get 6, but here's the 4 because we treated you with disrespect.
All right, so I guess it's a $10 million deal, including $4.5 million, which is fully guaranteed, and then another $1.5 million for a roster bonus. So that $1.5 is, I guess, going into next year if he makes the roster come next year. So I guess it's not a terrible deal. We'll see. Like you said, we'll see what happens. It's Cam Newton. He has some time off. We see how his body's holding up, and then we'll go from there. He has some time off, and it's been over 800 days since he's played a play for and since he was on the field for the Panthers. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Darren, what you said should happen, but I don't think that really happens in professional sports. It's like, what do we have to negotiate to get this guy? Because I'm sure Cam, he's probably saying, I didn't want to be with anybody else, but if Carolina comes in slight, he said, well, you know what? Green Bay kind of gave me a call last week, so...
Oh, yeah, no, don't get it. I'm getting money on the back end. For me to go back there, You're paying me.
And the other thing that this huge myth is, the athlete's going to give them the hometown discount. That usually doesn't happen either.
Well, it doesn't, but it does if it's a collective. If you do it collectively. where it's sort of that's a whole nother conversation we can get to. It doesn't matter what you want, because if you want to gamble like anybody here, mybookie.ag. Yes, you go to mybookie.ag if you want to bet the Lions this weekend. Joique says the Steelers, he's changed his bet because Stick made him crazy. So they're -8 right now, but you two go to mybookie.ag, use promo code Woodward. There's so many football games, college football. We're coming up after the break. We're going to have Neal Ruhl in with his Get Right Pick of the Week. So whatever it is, mybookie.ag is the place to go. Obviously, could sign up code Woodward. And remember, good friends don't let friends win alone. So have your buddies use your referral link so you're eligible to receive an additional 250% bonus on their first deposit. Wow, take advantage of your friends. Plus, it's unlimited to redeem, so all your friends can join the party at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. 1-800-270-7117, the Michigan Gambling Hotline. If you have a problem, we are Big D Energy. T. Foss in for Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCarty here, Woodward Sports Network.
Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid game. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. And the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following at Woodward Sports on all social media, or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win.
Welcome back to Big D Energy. Joique Bell, T. Foss in for Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty driving the pontoon boat, dropping 1-250 right now. And before we get to the golden rule, Neal Ruhl, who is on site down getting ready for the Oakland University versus Oklahoma State tonight. Terry, I want to get back to your point about the hometown discount and whatever. Well, it works. And I don't think it works as much in the salary cap area because guys sort of know you have to fit a guy in because it affects the rest of the league. But like when we were here in Detroit, before the salary cap or whatever, it was sort of always understood if we wanted to keep it together that there was sort of money moved around. Now it's not that much, but if
that does happen,
listen, I'll give you straight out. That the grind line, like with Drapes, Maltz, and me or whatever, we always got the same, except I got like 50 grand more because I had to look after, or 100 grand more, right? So if we're making $1 million, I made 1.1 just because I had to keep an eye on those, and that's what Uncle Kenny.
So you a babysitter? You had a babysitter thing?
Well, just bumps and bruises, putting up with those guys.
Oh, you had to protect the fellas.
Protect the fellas.
Okay.
People who don't know, but Lamar Jackson career. Stick, can you bring it up what you brought up yesterday on the show?
What specifically are you talking about?
I'm talking about
Lamar Jackson in the red zone. Interception in the red zone.
His numbers in the red zone. Can you talk about what you brought up yesterday on the show?
Yeah, I think I may be responsible for that. Yeah, in his entire career, what did he have? 49 passing touchdowns. 59 passing touchdowns, 15 rushing touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the red zone for his entire career. And last night, what happened?
You brought it. No, hold on. But you brought that up on the show.
That's right.
And then that night, last night, he threw his first interception in the red zone.
I don't know what to do with all this power, guys. Like, I really don't know how to yield this jinx power that I own.
Hold on. You know what? There's only one thing to do on Big D Energy when we are in this much of a crux. We got to go to the boss himself. We got to go to the golden rule. We have the man himself, Neal Ruhl. There he is. What's up there, Captain? Hello, Captain. I'm driving the pontoon. I dropped the 250, but your boat, your yacht is it's safe. I haven't touched it.
All right, D-Mac. I appreciate that. Stick, I would say, if you have that kind of power, man, just use it for good. just use it for good. That's all I can say.
What's up, Neal, man? How's everything going out there?
Good, man. We're just doing that road life. I mean, Joique, your road trips were only one game. DMAC probably knows this experience a little bit better. These trips get long, man. Going to West Virginia, having a day off, going out to Oklahoma State. But, it's an economics thing for mid-majors. You got to go play these games, and there's a business into it and everything like that.
Right.
Team played well at West Virginia, nearly got out of there with a win. So, it's long, man. You know how it is, DMAC. These trips are long.
Yeah, man. You know what's you talk about being a long trip, having a day off. You was able to experience something pretty cool. You want to talk about that? With Barry Sanders having his.
So yesterday after practice, we were at Oklahoma State. They let us go out on the football field and all that kind of stuff. And Barry Sanders is actually going to be in town this week, and I think he's getting in town tonight, as a matter of fact. And Oklahoma State's retiring his number, and they're putting him up on their little wall of fame. And you guys are seeing the video right now of the basketball team getting out there and up. As you look across the field there, Thurman Thomas's name and number right above where it says Boone Pickett Stadium, and Barry Sanders' name is going to go up there. They have it covered up right now, but yeah. So the game against TCU tonight, they're going to retire Barry's number, put him up in their little Ring of Honor thing up there, and it's really cool, man. To this day, the greatest college football player that I ever watched play, him and Mark McCall, were the two greatest I ever watched play. And I keep getting a question from people. They're like, "What took so long?" So I asked the people there, I'm like, "What took so long?" They said they just did Thurman Thomas's last year, so I guess they're just now getting around to it. I don't know, but what? Maybe the greatest college football player of all time, and probably the best running back of all time.
Well, my question to you is, why do you think it took him so long?
I don't know, man. They got a statue that they're unveiling of him, so I don't know if it's something where they wanted to get everything together and do it, or maybe it was a donor thing. I don't have the answer to that, Joique. That is a good question. My son asked me the same question.
I might have the answer for you.
What should have happened? Barry Sanders has a press conference saying, "I'm even before he can get retiring out of his mouth, Oklahoma State should have said, "Hey, we're retiring the number 2." That should have been quick.
They should have did Wayne Stick's last game, his home game. They should have had him that day, while he was still playing. So, yeah, I agree. But you look at their facilities here at Oklahoma State, and Terry, you know this. I mean, Boone Pickett's donated. He cut the check for the stadium. Just was like, "Hey, you guys want to build the stadium? All right, hold on, I'll come back with the check." And just cut the check for the stadium. I mean, the facilities here are incredible, and you don't realize too, like here at Oklahoma State across the board with just some of the athletes that they've had. With Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas and Ricky Fowler and golf, and Kate Cunningham certainly with basketball, and the list goes on, and all the national titles. They're a powerhouse. You don't think of Oklahoma State. They're not the first college you think of, but they're a powerhouse.
More importantly, Neal, all right, let's get down to brass tacks. Even though you're not here, you're still accountable. Lions are going into Pittsburgh this week. Do they have a chance to win? Pittsburgh's -8. Joique came in here flipping out because Stick jinxed Lamar Jackson in the red zone, so he went to the Steelers. Where are you at with this game?
You know where I'm at with this game, man. You gotta trust the process, man. Trust the process. Again, I'll say it. I've said it. I'll say it today. I'll say it next week. Losses are valuable, man. It's getting real now around here in terms of the draft race, my old draft capital. I just put it in and above that. I just don't see how they can win. Pittsburgh's got to have it. They're right in the thick right now, right in the thick of the playoff race and trying to make the playoffs. And for the Lions, they don't have the horses, man. It's hard to win the Derby when you got a you can't. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Just for you.
There it is.
Just for you.
Yeah, I love it. I don't see a path to victory. I mean, you guys help me. Sell me.
Let me say this, man. So real, again, you don't know what lines you're going to get, right? You don't know if you're going to get the lines from the Ravens game. You don't know if you're going to get the lines from the Bengals. But the thing that I've noticed that when we have adversity, that's when we play our best. Like when we play the games that we think we're supposed to win, like the game that I thought we were going to win against the Vikings, and we weren't even close. Games like that, or the game against the Bears when I think we have an opportunity and we're not even close, those are the games that, I'm going to have to just stop saying, you know what, we have that game. Because every time I go for the Lions with the games that I feel like they're going to win, we don't win those games. And so for here on out, I'm going to go for every opponent we play against just because I care about my Lions.
Well, Joique, how about this? They don't win any of the games, whether you believe they're going to win or lose. But the ones you think they're going to win, they don't show up. And the ones you think they have absolutely no shot in, that's when they're like, oh, man.
Because that's when they have the most adversity, right?
Before we get to the most anticipated part of the program, Neal, let's go to college. But let's go Michigan at Penn State. Penn State is plus 1.5 home dog. And then MSU versus Maryland, MSU minus 13. Any thoughts on these two games?
Yeah, I mean, I think Michigan's in one of those coin flip games. Again, going back to it, those road games at noon, usually you have a slow start. As far as Penn State goes, I mean, they're no world beaters with it. They've lost some games and stuff like that, but it is. I mean, the point spread reflects it. We've seen the point spread kind of go back and forth. Penn State was a favorite. Michigan's a favorite. It is. It's a little coin flip. I'll say this: if Michigan's a good team, they'll win this game. And you guys know where I am with it. I haven't, the resume. The resume and the schedule has been very kind to Michigan. That's not their fault. They scheduled a Power 5 non-conference game against Washington. It's not Michigan's fault. Washington was terrible, but they were. And I haven't seen it. I haven't seen them win a game where, quote unquote, the chips were down and they slugged their way through adversity or anything like that. I question how tough they are. I do. We saw it against Michigan State where Michigan State was tougher than them. So until I see it, I got to see it. And then guess what? When I do see it, I'll have to see it again because I don't believe it's there. I believe that this is a figment and a product, a figment of the imagination, a product of scheduling and a schedule breaking right. And look, anybody in college sports and anybody in pro sports, really, just anybody in sports period will tell you that sports are a schedule game. And it's not who you play, it's when you play them in the pros. And in college, you have control over your schedule. And that's just what it is, guys. Like, I'm sorry, I know the Michigan fans are going to get all worked up right now and they're going to get angry and stuff like that. But they got to go on the road and win a football game. And then guess what? They got to go win another big football game. If you want all the smoke, if you want to say that
you want all the smoke,
playoff team, you got to win these games. When are you going to win the game at some point, man? Like, I keep hearing about it.
All right, I got a question for you, Neal. Neal, real quick. You tell me, I want your honest opinion. You see that Michigan was moved in front of MSU after the last 3 games where they won and MSU lost. Do you agree with that, or do you not agree with that, and why is that?
I mean, that depends on what chair I'm sitting in, right? If I'm the committee's chair, I believe that because that benefits me and it benefits the game financially. And people can get upset about it, but that's what it is. The fact is they played on the field and Michigan State beat them. So, I mean, you can't argue that. Like
so my question, hey, listen, so I hear that. So say MSU, they come out and they lose these last 3 games, right? But they beat Michigan. Do they still need to stay ahead of Michigan because they beat Michigan?
Well, no. I mean, that certainly changes the stakes.
But they just lost. So what's the difference between them losing these last 3 versus losing this one last week and them getting bumped back?
That's a big difference between losing 3 straight games in one game.
Absolutely.
No.
Hey, the best part, let's just play it out. You guys can sit beside each other and argue it out in person next week.
I can't wait.
I know you can't wait, but right now, to me, it's irrelevant. To see
that is wrong. Guess what? Michigan State's going to go to a bowl. But if they lost all of their games, they wouldn't be going to a bowl.
I said they won all their games and lose Ohio State.
Listen, we can have this argument after this weekend. All right? I'm going to stop this right here, Neal, because I need your get right pick. The people are blowing up the Twitter, the comment section. What is it, Neal? Where are you taking us this week? I'm listening. I got my pen.
We're going late night, Saturday night, CBS Sports Network, San Diego State, Nevada. I don't like the way that the spread moved on this one. I really like San Diego State earlier in the week when it was 1.5. It's up to 3. So, I mean, that makes me a little bit nervous. I'll take San Diego State laying the 3. They're challenged to score points. They are. San Diego State has a rough go of it in terms of scoring points. But that defense is very, very good, especially in the Mountain West. They're at home. They're looking to get right just in terms of beating Nevada. Nevada beat them last year. And our guy, Robert Pelosia, that watches the show, he's out there in San Diego. I'm rooting for him, too. So let's get right with the Aztecs. I talked about Marshall Falk, maybe being one of the greatest college football players of all time. He's a proud Aztec. So take the San Diego State Aztecs. I think that defense is really going to hold that off the board.
There you go, folks. San Diego State University Aztecs.
Brady Hoke. I'm happy that he brought up teams that we actually have heard of.
Don't worry. He's brought up CBS Sports. Anyways, Neal,
next
tonight...
Next time you're going to go way west, Moscow versus Berlin or something.
Ooh, Russian fish. Terry, that comes
Russian
out of the
football.
fish bowl. That's right. Neal goes west, fish goes way east. You got to get the time zones.
Okay. Neal, when you come back, Neal,
we'll do it. Anyways, Neal, coverage of the game tonight. Oklahoma State, the Oakland Grizzlies. Where can people find you?
I'll be on the radio side with it on 1270 a.m. here in Detroit. So if you want to give it a listen, feel free to give it a listen. Pregame show comes out at 7:30 Eastern time. We did last night. I know Sawyer's got this. I'll put him on the spot a little bit. Last night we had a good run. Played in the managers game with the Golden Grizzlies managers against the Oklahoma State managers. We only had 5 players because we don't have that big travel budget, so I had to play a whole 40 minutes. The iPhone watch said we ran right around 7 miles during during the game, but it was a lot of fun, man. They were class dudes, and that's why this is the greatest job in the world, man. You get to play on Kate Cunningham's court. It's a lot of fun.
And you're kind of a point-a-minute game, so did you bust 40 last night?
No, I did not bust 40. The jump shot was coming up short, Terry, about 20 minutes into that.
There it is. Picture for the folks at
Hey, when
home.
you get back, man, we'll talk about why Barry took so long to get his jersey retired.
Look at how svelte you're looking, kid. Holy cow, slow it down.
Yeah, do some reporting while you're down there. Find out what's going on, man.
Love it. Anyways, we'll see you. You can catch him here next week. He'll be back driving the boat. Boys, make sure the yacht is polished up. All right? All right, we're going to put the pontoon away. Neal's going to be back. Thanks, brother. Have a great call, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Neal Ruhl, the captain of this ship here. Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. Yeah. You two can go at it next week. Or you know what? Might be even better, Sawyer. We should have Woodward Sports Network competition, but if we were to have it, where would we go? Do you got any ideas?
Oh, I got the perfect place for
you
us to go to.
You got a perfect place?
Oh, yeah, we could go to the Foaling House in Wantramick.
Joique and I were there the other day.
Yeah, we were there last, what was it, 2 nights ago?
2 nights ago.
Oh, yeah.
With the hammer.
We'll be there with Woodward Sports. Woodward Sports, we'll be there on the 30th, I believe.
There we go.
Is that what it is? Well, talk
about
a
holiday party. I mean, I'll be there throwing some footballs at bowling pin, doing some foaling. Fantastic time. But what gets me going is the 100 beers they have and the $2 beer vending machine. It's just a mystery machine. So that's where I'll be when Woodward Sports is there. $2 beers. You don't know what you're going to get. You just pump them up.
But you can't lose
so good.
Because you only pay $2. And even if it's a cheap beer, it's like, okay, it's only $2. But you might get something premium.
Who knows? Yeah, I did the math, too. It's a $12 six-pack. That's pretty normal. Okay. Like, not bad. Like, I'll take that all day. And you get to throw some footballs at some pins. I mean, I want to see Joique throw a football. I know he's good at running footballs, but I feel like he's got a pretty good arm on him. He's a baseball guy, too. So, I mean, if you're looking to do it, you can pay $10, unlimited play, get there when they open. You can leave when they close. They have food, or you can bring food in if you're hungry like that. And you can rent a lane for yourself for a company thing, team building, family event, family reunions. They can do it all there at the Foaling Warehouse. So, if you're interested, go get your foal on. Go to the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck or go to foalingwarehouse.com. This is the Woodward Sports Network. We got T. Foss on the desk, D-Mac driving the pontoon, Joique Bell on the couch, fishing the fishbowl, and you know me, I'm just pressing the 1s and 2s over here. We'll be right back.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Just flying along here on a Friday. Loving it. T. Foss, Joique Bell, D-Mac here. Talking a little Lions. Obviously, Joique changed his stance. He says Steelers all day because of the stick. Do you think they got a chance to win? Or
I think something funky is going to happen on Sunday. Because here's the way I look at it. The Lions played a terrible game last game, and they just go back and forth. They don't win or lose. They either play a terrible game or a very competitive game. I'm kind of wondering, with the Lions coming off a bye and Pittsburgh having a short week, that we might see a game that's going to boil down to the last few minutes. That's what I'm kind of thinking, but you never know with those guys.
I don't know if they're going to win, but I think that against Pittsburgh, they should be able. Well, who knows if they come up, because you got Jekyll and Hyde. You'll know right away if they're going to be in the game or they're not going to be in the game with the spread and stuff like this. Anyways, our very own Corey Woods, beat writer for Woodward Sports Network, was out at the press conference, and offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn had some things to say about this game coming up in Pittsburgh. Let's hear it.
Well, it's part of who they are. So you know the game is going to be a tough game because that's how they've been built. I think every coach looks for stability. Every coach wants culture. Every coach wants camaraderie within a team, and they embody that. So the thing that as a coach, it's not going to be easy because they're built this way. So when the game gets tough, gets hard, we got to make sure that we exceed that level of what they've already done and they show that they've done. All right, and when you do that, right, that kind of gives you a feather in your hat. Say, man, listen, we're on our way. All right, and we're looking forward to that challenge.
What I said was that's defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. Right, I would love to hear from offensive coordinator. But do you think the fact that we heard Taylor Decker practicing, back in the lineup, stuff like that, do you think this has the effect, a positive effect, or what do you think? Playing on the road, do you think, because everything you bring up is that they're either on or they're off, they're competitive or they're not, they're in games when they're not supposed to be in games. Is this a game that they're supposed to be in or not supposed to be in? In years past, they're not supposed to be in it. This year, with Pittsburgh, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought Philly would be.
Because usually, when we talk about an NFL team, we say, are they going to win or lose this week? With the Lions, we say, are they going to be competitive? Or are they going to be complete garbage this week? What's it going to be? And I think something funky is going to happen. I don't want to jinx them because I don't want Joique after me. But I think it's going to be a competitive game.
They're going to lose this game.
I didn't say they're going to win it. I said they're going to be competitive. They're not going to lose by 50.
I said we're going to lose this game. And that way, every time I say a team is going to win, they end up losing. So, for the most part.
Let me ask you this, Joique. Coming out of the bye week, right, and I guess not a lot of people have been winless coming out of a bye week or something. Yeah. But because all those games seem like there's so much in the past because you had that week off, and as an athlete, when you're in the middle of the season, you sort of separated like this is the second half. It's like the first game of the year or whatever. What are things that you're looking for, or things that the fans can watch to maybe see if what Terry's saying, are they engaged or doing things differently?
How fast they're moving on the field. Fresh legs, mentally clear, able to get away for a while. So these are the things that can go, I guess, with the Lions going into this game. That's a positive. So that's a positive that the Lions can take into this game. Now, with that being said, we're usually pretty good coming out of the bye week. Again, especially against a team that had a short week who played on Monday, so they have a shorter week. So that's another advantage that we may have because we had more time to prepare for them than they had to prepare for us. Now, with that being said, I remember when we went to London. We got to London about a week before the game, and I think the Chiefs got there on a Thursday, a couple of days before the game, and they mopped the floor with us. And so we'll see what happens. Let's see.
Yeah, because some coaches believe if you just go and then come back, that you're still technically on the same time zone that you left, and so you don't have time to adjust, and that's a good thing for teams, as opposed to going out there trying to get acclimated to a new time zone that then you get messed up. That's what
I
they
always
believe.
found it harder going east than going west. Right? You know, over the top, like it's the second or third day out west where it sort of catches up to you. You come east, you're coming home, red eye, whatever. That sort of gets you almost immediately.
It's a little different though, because that's a 3 hour going back. If you go to like Cali, but if you go to London, that's 5 hours forward.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying but even when you're coming from California to Detroit, which is 3 hour time change, when you're doing that, because like say for example, we're playing the LA Kings on a Saturday night and we leave at midnight, 1 in the morning. Well, it's 4 in the morning. By the time you land, it's 4.
And you have normally you have to play that Tuesday.
Yeah.
The only thing you get off is Monday.
Right.
But I find it humorous that a lot of times, and I understand what you're talking about coming back east. Every time, or most of the times, the team plays out west and then plays that first home game coming from the West Coast trip, they may not lose, but they look awful in that game. And I know people, and I hear people saying, well, they get paid millions of dollars, so time shouldn't affect them. I said, yeah, it should, particularly if you got another team who's making millions of dollars who didn't have to go on the West Coast, sometimes are waiting for you to arrive from the West Coast. They get paid too. So that's why, that first home game from a road trip is rough on the home team.
And that seems to be in every sport, right?
Yes.
Where you're looking, or that first game back, because that's sort of, I guess if you're going to over focus or whatever, you're trying to do everything you can to get off to a good start. First 5 minutes, first shift, everybody have a good shift, and you try to keep it simple, right? Do the simple plays, like I guess it would be don't turn the ball over, don't do different things like that. But regardless, it doesn't matter, guys. I'm still telling you, DeAndre Swift might need this. Hopefully, the offensive line for the Detroit Lions will be blocking like they got a machete from CoastPortland.com. Yes, CoastPortland.com. Do-it-yourselfers, first responders, lights, knives, machetes, everything. You too can go there. WSN 20 for 20% off. It's that time of the year, folks. The leaves are coming down. It's getting a little bit colder. Don't be left out in the cold with no lights. You too, go to CoastPortland.com, WSN 20. Tell them Big D Energy sent you. Joique Bell, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty. Big D Energy. We'll be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
What's up, Big D Energy here? We're back. We were just talking a little bit about the Lions, and Joinks bringing up, we were talking about stuff in the bye week and stuff. And you brought up something interesting. You want to give it to the people here?
Yeah, so real quick. So if we talk about the Lions and their historically, I'm not going to say historically, but for the past 5 years, post-bye week, we're on a 5-game win streak. If we take it back to 2000.
Wait. Slow it down, Buckaroo. Wait a sec. Coming up.
Coming up for the bye week.
Guys, we might have a trend here.
Might have a trend. So Lions, November 20th, 2016, after the bye week, Lions played the Jaguars, beat them 26-19. 2015, Lions beat the Packers 18-16. 2014, Lions beat the Dolphins 20-16. 13, they beat the Bears 21-19. 13, they beat the Eagles 26-23 in overtime. So that was back from 2016 but all the way down to 2013. I want to bring that streak back. I want to bring it back.
Okay, now you jumped bad and said Stick was a jinx. Maybe you just jinxed the Lions.
I didn't jinx the Lions.
Well, you didn't because
I'm still going because I'm going.
The last 5 bye weeks they won, but no, this is back in his day. Joique, were you playing then?
Yeah, I was playing.
Okay, all right. So what was the secret? Let's go back there. Do you remember Like, what are the coaches, because when they tell you for your bye week when you can go do what you need to do.
I mean, we're winning. I mean, we're already winning. So
no, I know, but you're going away. But what is the message when you leave? And then
when you leave, go take a mental break. Get out of here. Leave. Go take a break. Go away for a couple of days. But at the same time, stay mentally sharp, but physically stay loose. All right. And so go take a break. Go enjoy your family, and then come back ready to work. And then they give you a few days off, man, which is much needed halfway through the season. Now, the thing that I didn't like, right, and when you know, every year they switch it up. And so one year we had our bye week on the 4th week. And so you'll play 4 games, then you take a bye week, and then, boom, you got to play 12 games straight and going into the postseason. So if you don't have no bye week going into the postseason, you go right into the you just basically playing until either you win or you get put out. And so I love that break halfway through, and I think some people might take a bye week on week 12. I think we might have had that one time as well. So I would actually enjoy that more than getting that bye week after the 4th week.
Now, how many days did you get off during the bye week?
I can't remember. I was probably say 3 or 4 days probably.
What was the coolest place you went to during the bye week, just to clear your head?
I stay here. My family's here. So I just stay here with my family, you know. Son is in school, so we can't take a trip. So actually I just chilled here and just relaxed, kicking the feet up and didn't do anything.
Yeah, I see. I've actually thought about that. If I played in the NFL and I had the bye week and they gave me 4 days off, I would always want to go to the Bahamas, go on the beach, just relax, let the sun soak in.
Man, you had kids. You weren't going nowhere.
And then
you had kids.
I didn't have kids at the time. Oh, they can come along.
They're in school.
It's a bye week. I'm an NFL player.
You gonna take the kids out of school?
Kids coming down to the Bahamas.
I take the kids out of school. Okay. I say that for the off season, and then me and my son do a trip every year. So like this year we did Colorado and went skiing, and it was the best time. He loved it. And he never been skiing before. I said, let's try something different. We always do something, typical. Like, let's go do something different. And so he enjoyed it. Now he loves it so much that he wants to do it again next year. So we'll see what happens.
During the bye week? Or during
off season.
Okay.
Spring break.
Because I was going to say, if you did that during the bye week, Lions would be a little bit upset because people break legs going skiing.
No.
So you can't do that.
I got the best story. So my first year, I love this. So my first year, we have a few days off, and it's in Banff because we're out playing Edmonton, Vancouver, whatever. And we're staying at Banff at the big hotel that you've seen or whatever, like this, the ski resort and stuff. We're actually practicing up there. We had like 3 days off, and Scotty was the coach. And one rule is whatever you do, I don't care what you guys do, enjoy the hot springs, whatever, go enjoy the nightlife, do whatever you want. No skiing.
Yeah.
No skiing. So, we all listened and stuff like this, except for one guy, Sheldon Kennedy.
Oh, boy.
But the funniest part is that he comes to practice the next morning, and no one knew anything about it except he had his goggles, and he had the burn marks from the goggles from going down the hill, so he couldn't cover. He was trying to put a shaded visor on. They didn't have a shaded visor, and he didn't wear a visor back in the day, but he got busted because. So if you're gonna do it, any athletes, wear a full helmet so no one sees you or something, but don't get the windburns. I always thought that was funny. But Joique, back to you, coming off the bye week. Is it like going into the season, or do you have, are you recharged?
Yeah, for sure.
Ready to do it again?
You're ready to get back out there. Everybody comes back. You see a couple more smiles on a few people's faces, and you kind of see, mentally, ready to get back to work now. So it's kind of like, working a regular job, and you know what? I need a vacation. I need my vacation time, and that bye week gives you that vacation time.
Does the bye week, is it enough time to let the body heal a little bit, not completely, but where you feel differently?
So I'm not gonna say the bye week you're gonna heal all the way up, but what it does, it gives you more time to heal. And so not only do you have the bye week to heal up, but now you also have the work week to heal up as well. And so you basically have 2 weeks to kind of, and it's weird because for some reason, athletes, we heal quicker than regular civilians. For the most part, we do.
Well, you guys are in tip-top condition.
Yeah,
you're different than everybody else.
Yeah, you know.
But it's also too a lot of it is
too.
What trust me, what I've found through everything that I've gone is you train your body to go where you need it to go because of the training or whatever. So the healing and all that different stuff.
You got the best trainers. You know, you have the chiropractors. You have other. I told you guys before.
Yeah, you see the guys all hooked up to all the electronic devices.
You saw I told D-Mac about the guy.
Zip.
Yeah, I told D-Mac about the guy who he's based out of Houston, and he has this family technique. It's like acupuncture at the same and like needling at the same time, and they only teach it to the firstborn son of each brother and sister, and then it kind of goes down the bloodline. So don't teach it to everyone. So you have to be the firstborn son, and then they'll teach it to you have to wait for them to have a son, and they'll teach it to the firstborn son. So that's how it works. And so you have people like that who come in with different techniques, and like you have like the best of the best of the best of the people in the world taking care of you that make sure you can go perform at tip-top shape. And so you feel good, you play good. So I've been told.
And I remember, covering these guys, we had to write every day about that stupid machine that Steve Eisman used to get more oxygen in his blood.
The hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, the hyperbaric chamber. It was like, and it was up, and they had it in the middle of the
they had it
on the hallway.
And Julius, if you came to the back, and I'll try to paint the picture. If you're walking down the bowels and you go to the end where the dressing room is, and you usually, so you could think of an equipment truck backing up there, dropping hockey bags and sticks and to the back door, but you can't get the truck in now because you got this big bubble hyperbaric chamber that guys are going in. I used it. I don't know if I do. I'll try anything. I mean, I just follow. Steve Eisman. See, there it is. Steve Eisman was doing it.
Yeah, it's good.
Did it work?
How do I know? I mean, we won cups. Yes, Terry, it worked.
Right. Do you know what it does, though? Do you know what it does?
What?
The hyperbaric chamber. You know why?
Doesn't it? It's something to do with the blood, or I'm not.
It pumps out. It pumps out like 100% oxygen while you sleep, so you can get better sleep and better recovery because your body and the blood flow helps to heal your body quicker, and so they want to make sure you're breathing in 100% oxygen. So you have that. So that's the hyperbaric chamber, and then you also have the cryo chamber as well. So a lot of players did the cryo chamber, which saved you time because you would go hop in the cold tub after every practice for 15-20 minutes. You go hop in that cryo chamber for 2 to 3 minutes, and it basically does the same thing that the cold tub does for you, and then it also helps you to burn calories, like 600 to 800 calories in a matter of 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's crazy.
It's amazing. We could all use that.
Is that where all the linemen are in there cutting weight?
For real, yeah.
That's awesome. Crazy. One of the things I wanted to ask, and obviously talking to Neal about the Barry Sanders retire, is there something else that you can remember that sort of shocked you, and why? How does that happen? For me, thinking about it, Neal mentioned at Oklahoma State, the priority's been on their golf, and their priority's been on sort of different things. But how does that? Barry Sanders retired 20. You said Thurman Thomas took till last year. They ran at the same time.
Right, Thurman Thomas.
How does that take, Terry? Is that a?
That might be a college thing.
Is that a college thing?
Yeah, they don't know exactly when to do it, and then they got to talk to the alumni. College is more complicated than the pros. The pros just say we're going to retire the number and we're going to put it up on the Hall of Fame, on the Wall of Fame. College, you got to go through the boosters, the administration, the presidents. And this is one. When I covered Michigan football, one of the things that Bo Schembechler complained about, he says, everything's out of our hands now. The college presidents run stuff. They decide when to do it. And a lot of these guys, they know athletics is important, but it's not like the top number one thing. So it slips their mind sometimes. I think because the presidents and administration is more involved in athletics, it's things like this kind of slip through the cracks.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense too when you're dealing with an ownership, right? There is, for lack of a better term, a person making a decision that has the end say all. In colleges and the bigger colleges, like you said, with all the money you're dealing with the boosters and stuff.
Yeah. So So, but Thurman Thompson, his numbers retired there already, correct?
But yeah, they didn't do it till last year though. So that
right, and that could be it. But you look at the numbers. You look at the numbers right now. Like Barry Sanders had one good year. Well, he had 2 decent years, but he had one eye-popping year, which was his senior year, and that's probably why it took him so long. He did 3 years there, and he put up most of his yards in that last season. He put up 2,600 rushing, and I think another 400 on kickoff return. So he put up over 3,000 yards in one season, and that's amazing, right? And those are eye-popping numbers, and I don't understand what took him so long to get his number retired. But that probably could have played a part with him only having one good season.
Yeah, but that one good season,
and
it was a Heisman. Heisman is the best you can get in college football. So that's enough for me right there.
Put you on there.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, yes.
But I guess it goes back down, like you said, Terry, to institution. It's about, their choice and the choices that have to go through different levels, and this and that has to be crossed and teed and whatever. So I guess what it take 20 years. When did Barry retire?
It is, but I think the reason his numbers weren't that good his freshman year, his sophomore year, is because, like you said, Thurman Thomas was there, and so he wasn't getting that many carries.
Yeah, he was a punt returner.
Huh? Yeah, he was.
Returned punts too.
Yeah, he did.
That was,
and so that's
different.
probably. And so you look at his numbers: 8 games, running back. He had 74 attempts with 325 yards. Barry's sophomore year, he had 11 games. He had 105 attempts. Had 603 rushing yards with 5.7 yards per carry. And he had another 9 touchdowns. And then his senior year, when he had 344 attempts, 2,628 yards, right? 7.6 yards a carry, and then 37 touchdowns. 37 in 11 games. Crazy.
Wow. And D-Mac, we got a what the hell is going on with your organization? Sergei Fedorov, 91.
Oh, yeah.
How come that's not retired?
Well, I think that's a good question. I have to save that argument for when Neal's here, because that's his, and that question comes up more and more, which I agree that it should be.
Did that have to do with the Poison contract, the $28 million thing where he was going to leave? And
I mean, if I'm using my media head and speculating on stuff, that I think that's something, relationship-wise, there was some, I don't know, ill feelings. You know what I mean? There had the elephant in the room or whatever. Yeah, something had to sour what isn't done, but it doesn't matter, Terry, because the people can make a decision.
And he ended up staying.
I understand. We won the cup because of it, but the way that it went down, sometimes when you're negotiating, even though you get what you want, you stay, it leaves a sour taste and decisions made in the future. But it doesn't matter. But if you're going to make a decision, what kind of spirit would it be? Would it be the gypsy kind?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It would be. Sometimes we just got to chill out, everybody. And do you like your vodka? I do. With 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests and winning them. Gypsy Vodka is like ballers, man. They win cups. They win all kinds of things. Also, Gypsy Vodka is gluten-free and corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. Which means this water is really, really clean. It's the best water you can get. And also, we want to support our local brothers here in Michigan. We don't want to support somebody from Australia or Russia or something. Support the local brothers. Try a bottle today of Gypsy Vodka. Ask for it by name. That's Gypsy. And always, be careful out there. You got to drink responsibly.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid game. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. And the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following @Woodward Sports on all social media or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win.
There it is, folks. Turkey games. It is just a 1 minute afternoon, so we're going to give away who's going to be the lucky winner. Fish, what is that website or the email again?
turkeygames2021@gmail.com.
turkeygames2021@gmail.com. I'm looking for the 7th person that puts Barry Sanders in the comment on YouTube. Will be qualified.
That's a good one.
We'll get back to that. Yes, Barry Sanders, number 7, please. Speaking of Barry Sanders and talking about college football, a couple big games here, boys. A couple big games in this state coming down to it. We talked to Neal earlier about if you're this good, you got to win. This is where the proof meets the pudding. I mentioned it earlier. Number 6, Michigan at Penn State, traveling to Happy Valley. Penn State home dogs at 1.5, and Michigan State, number 7, versus Maryland. They are a 13-point favorite. MSU is. Any thoughts on either game right off the rip?
Both teams will win. I don't see State covering that 13 points though. I just think that. They've got flaws defensively, and I think they'll score enough points to win. But I think teams now look at Michigan State and say, we can move the ball down the field, and Maryland may not score a lot of points, but I could see State winning something like 21-13 or 21-10, and that's not quite covering the spread.
What do you think that State does differently? Then obviously win, but I mean, what do they have to do? Because really, they played the worst game, the self-proclaimed, and what we saw, game of the year. How do they bounce back? And is it just a matter of fact is establishing Kenneth Walker the third again?
Actually, I'm looking at the defensive side. Okay. They've got to figure out when to bring the heat, and I know some people criticize State for not blitzing enough. Oh, they did blitz. They blitzed at the wrong time because basically Purdue was throwing screen passes the entire game, and the worst defense that you can have is the blitz against the screen pass. And so now they have to figure out what do we do as far as bringing the heat, when do we do it. So that's what I look at because I think Kenny Walker is going to have a good game.
Yeah, no, that he should. How about moving over? You got any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I have thoughts. I think they'll cover. I think anytime they play the opponent that's ranked in the top 25 this year, they've lost by double digits by 13 or more. Right? They lost to Ohio State 17-66. They lost to Iowa 51-14. They lost to Penn State 31-14. I think it'll be something similar here. I think they cover the spread.
Nice, which obviously sets them up. So what about Happy Valley? You've been there, right, Terry?
I've been there a few times.
Can you give us a little bit of description for, have you been there, Joique?
I haven't been there.
Yeah. First of all, I hate the stupid lion's roar. Let me get that.
What's it sound like? Named cat?
It sounds like a electronic cat. I don't know. It just sounds
like a
weird.
Like the MGM. The MGM roar, right? The old school, right? That's
but it's not even real.
Yeah,
it's like a echo-y thing. So I hate that thing.
Auto-tune.
But
they got an auto-tune line.
It's a tough place to play because when people come there, they're there to party. They're there to root that team on. it's a beautiful scene from the press box. You know, you got the field there, and then this time of year there'll be the fall colors and everything. So it's a pretty setting. And see, when we went there was something bizarre happened every Friday. They had a reception for the media every Friday before the game. Joe Pa used to show up at every reception, shooting the breeze, having a few drinks. Wouldn't tell us the game plan, but he would talk about the game a little bit. So that was a pretty cool thing.
Now, did you ever learn anything off that?
Nah, not really.
What did you learn? What was his reasoning behind doing that? Was it just because of the way that he was, or was it to try to get?
No, he liked to he liked to meet people from the opposing school, and I don't think he was trying to pump us for information, because we don't have any information, because you can't go to practice in college. So, but I think he just wanted to shoot the breeze, and I found in sports that a lot of times I've been in situations where the opposing team, whether it's a general manager or the owner, just wants to talk to the beat writers or the columnists from opposing cities just to see. I think their main point is, are you guys as hard on your team as these guys are hard on our team here? So they want to see if there's a little difference there.
Right, and there's also, too, you got to speak to it, is that coaches or people that come and make time and go out of their way it puts them in a better light, doesn't it?
Right.
Like as a reporter, when you're reporting or whatever, to get it straight, but there's got to be something to that. Opposing players or interviewing different guys, because I know as an athlete, you know, like Terry Fry, for example, who's a famous Colorado journalist and stuff, covered the Avalanche. I'd have great conversations with him, and he was reporting on the enemy and stuff, but you could have real conversations. Even as part of the hatred that it was back in the rivalry days, there's still the guys covering it because they covered it fairly, right? Like, say what you say, not putting words in. And I think as athletes or coaches, we find out not only it's easy when the guys have to cover every day that you see around. It's the ones that you don't that come in and you see who's who.
Yeah, and then you find out that the opponent, they're not a bunch of asses.
Right.
Now, there was one incident where after the Draper incident with, I forget his name.
Lemieux?
With Lemieux, I had to go in and talk to him about. And this guy was just so dismissive after he hurt Draper.
Well, that's why he got karmed. That your interview and the way he responded was when I tell people that in life and in sports, bad things happen, but you can't lose respect for a fellow human being, and that's what took it to the next level. And you don't have to take it from me, man, because he did. That ruined in his book there.
And I remember the last gesture. First of all, I didn't think I was going to be able to talk to him because he's in the trainer's room. We're never allowed in the trainer's room, but he did one of these. Come on, like he's the emperor. Come on in. And then the last question, I think I asked him was about, do you care what happens to Chris Draper, and are you concerned about his welfare? And he's just like, not really. It's not my concern. You don't play for the Avalanche. So I'm like, man, that's the only guy where I was like, damn.
Cold-blooded. So, Joy, are you, speaking about this game, are you worried for Michigan at all? Or what do you think is the keys for them to win in Happy Valley?
No, I don't think they should have any issue with playing a team that lost to Illinois. You know, they lost to a team that went 3-5. I don't think we should have any issue. Now, the only thing that can hold us back if we go in there, we don't play the way we played against. If we play the way we played against MSU, we'll win the game. You know, and we didn't even play our best game. If we play just as good as we played against MSU, we'll be fine. K. McNamara does a great job with, like I said, protecting the ball. The run game is strong. He's putting his receivers in position to catch catchable balls and to be able to make guys missing open field. So I have no issues with this game. Defensively, we're playing sound. We're playing sound. Now, we play defensively the way we played against MSU. Then I'll have some worries moving down the line, but not for this game.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect, and I want to send a shout out, Fish. The legal party won today, Mr. Robert Colossia. Congratulations. He will be. What's that email again?
turkeygames2021@gmail.com. Made it as simple as possible.
Congrats.
I tried to do turkey games, but that was already taken, so I had to add the 2021 to it.
You know what? Look at you.
Look at you.
You're just using it. You're growing up
Making
right in
things
front
happen.
of our eyes. And you know what, though? Joy can probably help you out if it gets a little cold in there.
Yeah.
The weather's getting a little
And
bit.
speaking of hot and cold, along as it's going to be cold down there at the Lions, but I'm going to tell you right now, Michigan's going to heat it up down there. They're going to heat it up. Learn more about the cooling and heating industry. To learn more today, go to northwestern.tech.edu. I'm Joique Bell. That's T. Foss. That's D. Mac. That's Fish in the Fish Bowl. That's Sawyer on the ones and two. Stay tapped in to Big D Energy. Big D!
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, Big D Energy on this Friday. Joique Bell, T. Foss, sitting here. Last night at LCA, 3-game winning streak for the Detroit Red Wings came to an end as Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals came to town, and their goaltender with his first NHL game, his name slips me right now, but shutout, got a shutout in his first game. So the Wings getting shut out at home, you never like to do that. It's nice to see. It was a solid game, but Washington did what they needed to do, and we were just unable to get the goals when we needed them.
Yeah, he got the shutout, but I didn't consider him getting the shutout. I thought they really crowded the Wings yesterday. Well, in their grill, and they really couldn't generate anything with this guy.
But here's the one thing, Terry, is that and I don't know if it's the same thing, in football with players, but when you have a rookie and especially goalie in, when you have a veteran team, you play hard, you focus more. Like, you're always sort of focused, but
Right.
you want to go out. And last night, what you saw is that they knew that if they played this tight in front of them, and it's sort of learning to play, but they were all committed. I talk about what you like to see about this Red Wings team, and it's the fact they play for each other. Well, the Washington Capitals proved last night, being a Stanley Cup, team from a few years ago, that's the way they had to play. So that was always a question mark, and I guess keeping Ovi off the goal sheet is a bonus, but it doesn't get any. It should get easier because you got Montreal coming in tomorrow night, which I will be down doing game day live. So anybody wants to come out who's going down to the game, I'll be outside Portal 10. But the one thing is that they played hard, and they got to take advantage of Montreal, because Montreal's a team that they've really stunk it up against when they've played them in Montreal. So hopefully they can bounce back. But again, you're going to have games like this, throughout the 82-game season.
But I think in a way it's good news for the Wings, because Washington respects the Wings. They knew they had to play a certain game to win, because some teams, they go, okay, the Wings not that good, or Pistons not that good. They just come in, fired around, just kind of decide games late. So, okay, we'll just play this game for 20, 40 minutes haphazardly, and then we'll focus in the last 20 minutes and pull out a win. Washington didn't do that. They like, okay, we got to play these dudes hard.
That's a great point, Terry, because that's sort of what in the Lions' whole scheme of things is every week, right? Where teams don't either take you seriously and then we sort of come close or whatever, but everybody knows that these guys, the Detroit Red Wings, are on the clock. We're hoping the Pistons get to that point where people come in and go, hey, these guys are going to have the game. Who do these guys remind you of in another team building? Because to to me, it's sort of like you watch what the New York Islanders have done and sort of have been that competitive team, have got themselves into the playoffs for the past bunch of years, and the problem is they've run into the Tampa Bay Lightning in the conference finals and stuff. But it's the competitiveness where everybody knows when they play the Islanders nowadays that they got to be ready to play. So I think that's a great sign. It's a part of the consistency and stuff like this. Now, again, what do I always say? The biggest thing now is always the next game and don't lose 2 in a row. So when the things that we're seeing differently, right, is to be able to come back on the road in Buffalo and to win that game, right? Not just to get the point and be happy or to have the streak, 3-game losing streak going to an 8-game losing streak. How many times have we seen that compound? So now it's how do they bounce back? Because to your point, Terry, Red Wings played a good game. They played a solid game against one of the top teams in the league. So sometimes you're not going to win that when the other team is prepared to play you as Washington was.
Yeah, they made them sweat a lot of times last night, and they had the 5-on-3 power plays a couple times. But the power play just baffles me. With the Wings, I wish they could decline penalties and just go 5-on-5. They might be better off.
Well, that's again. The inconsistency ebbs and flows, and you know what? Sometimes the 5-on-5 game won't be there, but the power play will be there. And then when the power play is not there, the PK is not there. So it's the consistency in a 60-minute game is finding consistency in all of your special teams and everything else, the way you start the game, all these different things. But I can say to you and ask you, you see progress.
I do.
You just see progress.
I think of all the teams in Detroit right now, the Red Wings are the best story. They're the most compelling story right now because not just that they're winning games, which is important, but they're in these games. They're fighting people, and I see some grit with these guys. I like the fact that Larkin, even though he may have cost them a game against Tampa Bay, and even though he was suspended, he smacked somebody for boarding him. And he got pissed last night. Somebody threw him into the boards, and he jumped up and like, hey, what's happening here? Usually, those guys are the ones that are protected, and that and I'm out here, I'm a golden boy, I'm a pretty boy and everything, and somebody just jacked me up. You take care of it.
Well, that's the way it used to be. That's the way it used to be. Now it's team, but that's the team toughness, and if it's led by your leader, it's sort of like, hundreds of years ago or 1,000 years ago when you see the king lead the army into battle, right? That sort of thing. When you're not only talking about it but being about it, and that's why this team, they did, like you said, it's every game, it's like a new chapter. It's like something that they're learning and they're moving towards. It's something. Do you think? I guess my question is what's the next step? Is the consistency? Is to see the power play? Is to have a 5-on-3 and to know like a Tampa Bay or something? Pretty much we can count on the goal?
Yeah, that's pretty much it because they won't figure it out this year.
No,
they'll still be like lacking and stuff. But are you gathering? I like to call it gathering acorns. You put your little acorns in your pouch and everything. It's not enough to eat yet, but I still got a couple in here. And then it's going to pay dividends maybe next year, the year after. Because, some of these things, you talk about Washington, Tampa, they know how to win. Let me rephrase it. They know how to win on the road. And so they know exactly what to do with a team like the Wings. Now they feel that we got to play close to our A game to win because we're supposed to win that game. But if the Wings are not serious about hockey, we can play our C game and win a game. But now I think Washington realized last night, at least I got the sense, no, we cannot play our C game and get 2 points out of here because this team might beat us.
Right.
And so I think that's the progress the Wings have made.
And that's the excitement to going down. Joique, I asked you because, your hockey fandom, obviously seeing you down at the games and going up. What is it for you that you like about, that draws you to watch this team?
The energy they bring. That's the biggest thing for me. It's energy. And I know that we're in the rebuilding stages, so I'm not looking at the win-loss column this year. I'm not. You know, I want us to win games, but that's not my main concern. It's the mentality which the team plays and the energy that they bring to the game. And so when I went to my the first game where they played Tampa Bay, that's the type of energy I like to see out there. Like the intensity, the aggressiveness, the not backing down from anyone, that grit that we've been talking about on this show for so long. And like I said, it's not a mentality that what mentality does Detroit need, or what's Detroit football here? I don't think it's more so bringing in what's the Detroit way? I think the Detroit way, like I said, is the mentality, is the attitude of which we play the game, and that can be for any sport, from basketball with the Pistons to hockey with the Red Wings to the football field to the Diamond. Yeah. So it's for me, that's what it is, and that's why I've grown to like this young team.
Yeah, I remember I went to a game against the Blackhawks at the LCA, and I swore Chicago was on the power play for 60 minutes. The Wings barely got the puck over the half
couldn't get over the red line.
We're getting beat up in the corners, and I remember I got in trouble because you guys, Philadelphia, when you played Philadelphia in the Stanley Cup Finals. I was told how strong this team was. So I watched Philadelphia play because I figured you guys were going to play them. And I said, you know what? They're big and they're strong, but they're not tough. So I called them the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. And so I had to go on Philadelphia radio, and they were rough on there. And so I was on there for like an hour because I called them the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. And I said, your team is going to lose in 5 games. And they're like, oh, my God, that's ridiculous. How can you say that and everything? I said, just watch. And I said, and here's the other thing. You will not call me back when the Wings beat this team in 4 or 5 games. They said, oh, no, we will. I said, no, you won't. And they didn't.
But you nailed it, though, as far as so you called your shot there. So one question I have for you is, can you put this team from all the hockey you've watched in a time frame? Is this like a 90, 91? It doesn't have that Fedorov, Yzerman thing?
I think it's probably, if we're going to equate it to the Wings, it's probably the year before, or 2 or 3 years before you guys got beat by the New Jersey Devils in the finals.
Yeah, so
where they were the tougher team, and they were being gritty throughout the whole thing. Now this team, they're gritty with a small G.
Right.
In other words, really, if you're going to win the cup, and this is one of my criticisms in the NHL, that usually in sports, you get your better players out there, they allow them to shine. The NHL does not allow star players to shine as much in the playoffs as other leagues do. So they have to show some grit. They have to show some toughness. They have to show that, okay, if you're going to punch me in the mouth, I'll punch you right back.
My thing is, when you used to fight D-Mac, did you fight? What was your method when you fought?
Like, as far as I didn't fight angry. I did fight angry. Like, you get to the angry part, but my whole thing, like, it all depended on who you were fighting, and it all depended on the reason, and it all depended on if it happened simultaneously. The thing that would flip me out the worst is if you took a shot at one of my guys. You can hit me, and I'll figure out when I'm going to do something. But the minute you take a shot at one of my guys, I'll kill you. Yeah, I mean, I'll lose my marbles. You know what I mean? But it's also lose your marbles, but in a focused way. Like, I'm going to get you. You know, like there's, especially when you cross the line. So it's sort of that mentality. But that's to what Terry exactly said. Because we didn't have the little G. Then we got the little G. Then we got the little G slapped around. And then the little G got beat up, and the little G got tired beat up, and the little G turned into a big G, and the big G got through Colorado and then won the cups. But it's always interesting, Terry, because you've seen You know, it's you've seen a lot of the hockey, you've seen a lot the game change, you've seen the guys come in and out, and it's that sort of mentality in the culture. Because when I say hashtag Weiser playing, you know what I'm talking about. It's the guy. You've seen him. It's the same thing as you say, look at the little Canadian kid. Nice to see he's back. It's the same thing with Steve Yzerman. You know it's that focus of not when, but when. But it's an exciting part, and you just can't get frustrated. But
yeah. You know what? Real quick, D. Smitty in the YouTube says that all the successful teams like the Steelers, Cowboys, 49ers, the Bears, Eagles historically have an identity to their team. Detroit has to get the same type of mentality as Bad Boys, Pistons, and stay consistent. Also, Detroit shouldn't reach for just talent. They should get people who not only want to play here, but embody our city. Right? And when they say embody our city, they mean embody the mentality of the Detroit, the new Detroit. You know, and so I agree with that, though, because teams do. So when you look at the Steelers, you think of the Steelers as the usual suspects, right? When you see, you know, certain teams, you look at them as the usual suspects, from the Patriots to the Packers to the Seahawks to like these teams. They have a history of winning and having that identity. You know, even with the Seahawks, when they had the Legion of Boom. They haven't been the Legion of Boom for quite some time, but they still have like that winning culture there. And so, like Detroit, we just need to get our culture, which we had before, of that grit and that not bagging down. We're going to bring it to you every time. And we lost it somewhere.
Well, you got to get it, and then you got to win.
You got to get it.
You do.
You got to put the combo together.
And one of the saddest nights here in Detroit involved you guys was
they didn't have a haircut?
When you lost to the first round to San Jose.
Oh, 93.
93. I think the mentality of that team is we're just going to outscore everybody. We're going to look good, and here we are. We got a little Red Wings jersey.
You can't look good without a haircut.
No, we know. we know, and we all know where to go. But Terry, yeah, you're right. Fellas, football season's here. Time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to your Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play. Before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Check this out. Yeah, I got mine done this morning, high and tight, getting ready for GCW tonight. But anyways, you can get to Lady Jane's open at 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Joique Bell. We're going to get to Mel Kiper and talk about some college quarterbacks because we're here in Detroit. When we come back here, Woodward Sports Network.
Big D.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it. Spin. Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Welcome back here, Big D Energy, this Friday. Terry Foster, Joique Bell, Darren McCarty here, talking about, and Terry, just to finish that point about the 93-94 year where we won the President's Trophy and, you know, high flying, Ray Shepard's got 50-some goals, we're going to do it, and then you get beat by San Jose and realize, wow, things got to change. And you
lost on a defensive mistake.
Question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, let me ask you a question about when you guys won your last championship, even that, say the 2002 Red Wings, right?
Or the 2008? You want the last one? Or you
no, I want the 2000.
Okay. The Hall of Fame.
Actually, all of them. What do you see in this team that you saw when you played?
Okay, everything that you will take to where this team begins, just like I say, the Red Wing D-Days, March 26, 97, that sweet revenge, is play that clip of them blocking shots. That one clip I played where they blocked 8,000 shots in that one shift, and you feel that's the loudest the barn was, right? Because the people appreciate it. And what that shows me, it didn't matter who it was, it's guys sacrificing for each other. The team toughness, sticking up for each other is where you start. You got to love the guy beside you more than anything more than anything else, and that's exactly how our locker room was. And then as they're figuring that out, because they play for each other, it goes back to the Larkin leading and not being pushed around. You see how they stick together. You're going to win together, you're going to lose together, and when you do that together and you all accept the responsibility for your role, that's where it starts. But you see, like Terry brings up a great point, 93-94 season, and then it took 3 more years, 3 more full seasons to even win. And we're not even at the point, this team's not even at the point, because we're talking about a President's Cup team. Right? So it all comes around to where they're at, and I guess 4 or 5 years is something that, I know Neal says hashtag 2023, that's for when everything's going to be great to watch, but it might be a little bit longer, but there's something there, Joique, which makes me excited, because to me, that's exactly what you said about what defines you, your attitude, your stuff like this.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, there's going to have to be some heartbreak
coming
down the road somewhere.
Bro, tell them that this is just, we got through one part of the suck, right? We're into the next level of establishing where it's going to be fun. Let them know what the next one is, because the next one is where you expect to be there and you can't get over the hump. Then you're going to prove that you can win and be at top of the league and finish first. Then you're not going to succeed. Then the doubt's going to come in. You're falling down the hill. So that's where the character comes in, like it was for us. You look at Steve Eisman's 14th year to win the first cup and stuff like this. So it doesn't come overnight. It's tough to win in this league. But people don't realize it just doesn't go from here to here. I think there's 3-4 more steps to go.
Yeah, it is. Because you guys, the steps was New Jersey. A lot of people thought you could beat New Jersey. Didn't come close. San Jose was another heartbreak. And then we had, we thought that the Wings were going to trade Steve Yzerman, which was another, well, what's going on around here? Is this actually going to happen?
Yep.
So you had to have your heartbreaks. You had to have times where you were on top of the pedestal and you think, okay, we're going to kick everybody down, but it doesn't happen there. A lot of championship teams who sustain championships, that happens to them a lot. And I'm not talking about the team that wins a championship and then disappears. I'm talking about teams that are going to have staying power. They've got to remember the hurt and the pain from a devastating loss, from a devastating series, from a devastating injury, or a devastating almost happened but didn't quite happen. And I think this is what this team is going to have to go to. There's going to be a series or a moment where we think, oh, you know what? They got it all figured out. And then it's going to be, whoops, that was a bad 2 weeks. What the hell happened?
That's the inconsistency, and there's the different inconsistencies to go through, because we lose the President's Trophy, lose to San Jose, then go up against, supposed to run over. We were supposed to run over Jersey like Philly was supposed to run over us.
Right.
But Terry Foster stood there, and that's why I see Terry, not only just that hat, it's because he can blend in on the street corner when he's paying attention, and he's just going, oh, well, you guys are wrong because you haven't got punched in the mouth yet and ready to punch you in the mouth. And sports is cyclical like that. And salary cap changes. The game changes. Rules change in every sport, but it's finding that flow, and the best teams comes down to that culture. One of the things as far as culture, and I'm going to stick on this hockey topic, is we brought it up, the stuff going on with the Chicago Blackhawks, and I'm not going to ever let it die when I hear more things. So there was a tweet out there, Terry, and am I the only one that just shakes my head? Sawyer, if you pull up the tweet, can you read it, Sawyer? I can't read from there.
Yeah. In a second letter from John Doe 2, the Blackhawks attorney wrote that the team will provide therapy for him. The team wants to review his medical records, school transcripts, and income records before it can understand how the assault by Brad Aldrich has impacted his life. And then Rick Westhead replied to his tweet and said, while a Blackhawks lawyer wrote the NHL team would pay for therapy for JD2 related to the assault, it should not be constructed as an admission of fault or responsibility for John Doe 2's injuries. The Blackhawks sympathize with John Doe 2 on a human level, the team's lawyer wrote.
And that's from our boy Rick Westhead, who we've had on covering this for TSN, just to get what's going on. And to me, Terry, is this where the sad thing of legality and letter of the law and all this lawyer speak and the humanity of what's right and what's wrong, where we all know culpability, where it comes in and can skewer the lines? Or
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the times today are just so much different than they were even 10 years ago.
Right.
The thing what's happening with the Blackhawks is going to do one of two things. This is going to be their galvanizing moment, or it's going to break them, and they will never ascend to the top again. Dang. So, but that all depends on the leadership in the front office. With the Blackhawks, it has to do with the leadership in the front office as well on the ice, as whether they're going to come through this at some point and be a power in this league, or they become, man, whatever happened to the Chicago Blackhawks? They still got a team in Chicago? So one or two things is going to happen with this whole thing.
And you bring up a great point, right? Where how things have changed so much. So you can't, I can't sit here with my opinion, and I'm asking you and I'm asking Joique, is it, you really don't know how this is going to end, do we? Because things have changed so much and are continuing to change in society.
Right.
You know what I mean? Information technology, all this stuff where, like you said, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if we're sitting in Joe Louis Arena and I just, you know that smiley little curly haired Canadian kid, you know what I mean? Whatever, like this, talking, something like this came up, because society, the way it is, information, you know, you can honestly say, do you favor a side of how this plays out? They're going to survive this, but because it's the insensitivity, that the cold-bloodedness of the words and stuff that takes the human aspect out. I think that's what people are aware of these days because of social media and because of the internet and because of the information highway, right? Yeah.
Do I think the Wings are going to emerge from this victorious as champion? Oh, the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I know they've got Scotty Bowman over there, and I know that, you know, he's mentoring them, so he gives them a good chance. But see, I don't know those guys.
No.
I think they may not be as mentally tough as an organization, as a team, as they should be. So this could break them. My guess is it breaks them.
But that's an interesting.
But you can say the same thing. But you look at the Raiders; they're going through a lot of stuff too. But they're figuring it out in their winning games. You don't think they have an opportunity to do something like what the Raiders are doing?
They could.
But do you not think, like, to me it always goes, well, the NFL's the big B game, and the rules to everything else really don't apply to the other league. You know what I'm saying? They just make their own rules as they go. So if they're going to allow and clean out the Raiders or whatever to find it out, it always seems that the Raiders are going to get back before. Like, I have more question about Chicago regaining or coming back through this than I do the Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders, the Raiders,
it's sort of
when they play, they've got 7 days to chill out and figure some stuff out. In the NHL, it's like bam every day. You don't have time to regroup, to refocus, because we got another game tonight. We got not a shoot around, but a skate today, a morning skate, and we got this, and there's just time, bam, bam. It just, there's no time to rest. There's no time to.
And speaking of game,
not as much time to figure it out.
Yeah, but speaking of game tonight, let's get into it when we get back. Motor City Cruise taking on the Wisconsin Herd again. They lost last night by 5, 121-116. But they have a chance to redeem themselves tonight and play them again tonight. If you guys want to go down to Motor City Cruise to the new arena, which is beautiful, and just take a walk on down on Wayne State campus. It's right on Wayne State campus. I love that. I love that.
You love to host the people down in the Wayne State campus.
You know, but it's good for the team.
Go see them play.
It's good for the team as well, because you're putting a G League arena on Wayne State campus where they're allowing the Wayne State basketball team, where they put into the agreement where they can go there and they can have all their home games there. So Wayne State, they have their own locker room there. They moved the girls' locker room over there as well. They have their own training room over there for the Wayne State football team. So for the basketball team. So they can go over there, and it's great. Right, it's great. It's great for the university. It's great for their team as well, because you're bringing a team to the biggest Division II in the entire country with nearly 30,000+ students.
That's awesome.
You know,
that's awesome. So you have that choice tonight. Yeah. But if you guys are gonna sit through and see if the Lions are gonna win this weekend, even though they're on the road, why don't you join the Woodward Sports Live for the Lions pregame show? Yes, the Lions Steelers pregame, hosted by Jose Cuervo, Joe C. himself. O'Toole's in Royal Oak, yes. 11 a.m. to 1. Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani, and Maz from the Bottom Line, along with Jade from WRAF and Kennedy from the Morning Wood. And more will host the pregame live on Woodward Sports and 101 The Riff. And then postgame, yes, on Woodward Sports, sponsored by Jim Beam. We got Stick and Anson, the 2-minute morning watch party and after the party for every Lions game. Where the brass rail. Yeah, pizza party at the rail. Their pizza's awesome down at Adams and Woodward. Live streaming right at the 2-minute warning. If you haven't seen it, especially go back and look at the clip of Stick celebrating Justin Tucker's winning field goal against the Lions in week 3 or 4, whatever it is. DJs, drinks, Woodward VIP section with food and more. Make sure you stop by after every Holmes game at the Brass Rail Detroit Woodward Sports Network. Big D Energy will be right back with the Motor City Cruise.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back to Big D Energy. Trying to get Joey in here when we talk about the Motor City Herd here. If we can talk to him also too, because if you haven't seen, he was down at the game yesterday, and Joique Bell, the Wisconsin Herd, came in, and they were not very nice visitors, taking a 121-116 win, but the Crews will be able to get back later on today. Joined by, you know him, you love him, who knows what he does, but Joey, go around to Sawyer's booth. I think that's what he said, so we can see your beautiful manicured face. But a lot of good stuff going on down there in the Wayne State campus other than the victory. But Joe, here he is. Get him on screen there, Sawyer.
There I am.
There he is. Talk about the atmosphere last night. Saw the pictures. Looked like you guys were having a blast. Speak to us. Joique was talking about what it's like to have the facility on Wayne State property and the intermeshings, but talk about what people can expect down there.
The thing about it, too, it's like, I mean, we've all been to professional games, right? And when you go to this, it's just a different vibe. It feels like it's more of a homey vibe because, you know, you got all the college students there from Wayne State's campus, and that was awesome just seeing all the students. And then you got all these families out there, and it's super affordable tickets. I think people walking up yesterday, I was talking to them, getting tickets for $15. So it's a cool experience to go on out there and just be a part of something new that this city has. And the stadium, like, you see the picture there that Sawyer's throwing up on screen, was such a beautiful place to be in, and that's obviously decked out for Wayne State. But with the Crews there, it was just an amazing environment to be a part of, and obviously the team right now is looking good. I know we didn't win, but the team's really looking good. Luka Garza, Saban Lee, and it's just a fun experience, so it's something to definitely check out.
Well, I think the beauty is also, too, Terry, talk about the fact of how not only having your minor league team, for whatever they want to call them, your G League team, but in your backyard for as far as development, or not only the economics. And to me, that reminds me of Wentworth. It reminds me of Hamtramck, of the DCFC. So this sort of has that sort of vibe. But these guys, like you're talking about, the Saban Lees, the Luka Garzas, these are guys that we're going to see at LCA at some sort of point in time. Isaiah Livers, obviously, from Michigan. But Does that, from an athlete's perspective, that's huge. But obviously, from a journalist or as far as winning, you've seen that before.
I think it's exciting too because I'm going to see these guys on the big club at some point. It's almost like having the Toledo Mud Hens move up to Detroit, where you're going to see the future Tigers. All you got to do is drive 10 or 15 minutes away. So this is exciting. It adds excitement to it. I didn't like the fact that the Pistons had their team in Grand Rapids because, who's going to go there and blah, blah, blah. But, the other thing that you could do, the arena's nice. If you go there and you like the arena, you might check out the box office and say, I might go to a Wayne State game. Check them out.
No,
Wayne State students goes to the Wayne State game and they hear about the Motor City Cruise and you know what? Let's go to this game. Let's do this game on a Wednesday. Let's go to this game on a Monday. Let's go check them out on a Friday. We're not doing anything. So and then they start to build their fan base with the Wayne State students going there just for fun and supporting the local team. Now, Joey, real quick, were you able to do a walk around the arena to kind of check it out and see how nice it was, see some of the amenities they have there?
Yeah, I was walking around. Just from the beginning when you walk in, there's a sweet court out there in the front, and half of it's Wayne State Athletics, and then the other half is Motor City Cruise. And if you follow us, go check out Woodward Sports. Obviously, you follow us, you'll see the picture up there. The whole venue it had a different vibe to it. It's kind of like, have you guys ever been to the Oakland, the arena there?
Yeah.
It kind of gave me that vibe, but it was a way more open concept because I went to Oakland University, so that's why I used that comparison. But it was just, a brand new stadium. It was just an amazing thing.
Did you see, did they have did they have the Hall of Fame in there?
I didn't see that. Are you trying to get to if I saw you on the walls?
No, I'm trying to get to it because I went by Wayne State yesterday to the Hall of Fame part where they had it in the old Mathi. I didn't see it in there. And so I thought they moved everything over there. I could be wrong, but
probably in the process.
More importantly, Joseph, what did you eat? What was the food? Was there any good food?
That's what I want to know.
Okay, you ready for the best part?
Come on.
Andiamo is the caterer there.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. So
I didn't know they did the basketball games.
Did they have gnocchi there?
That's good.
No, they didn't have all that.
Well, if they did, that'd be sick. But Andiamo, man,
because they've been doing the football games for a while now. They have their own Andiamo, it's like a huge tent, and then they have they make the pieces in the back. They actually make the pieces and everything right on site, and so it's pretty dope. It's pretty cool. So I think they've been a part of Wayne State for 5-6+ years.
Wow,
they had a contract with them, so.
Gotta go local. That's important. Where's that, Terry? Just a little bit off topic. Where's some of the best
Thank you. Food.
Yeah,
I tell you, the best meal I ever had covering the NBA was in Seattle. We had seafood gumbo, and it wasn't just junk out of the can. Somebody made seafood gumbo, and it was great.
Better than New Orleans?
New Orleans didn't have a team. We were just talking about the best arena food from the press.
Arena food.
Yeah,
the best arena food you had.
Right, but
okay.
Yeah, the gumbo in New Orleans is obviously better, but right here, probably the best NBA food is at the Palace.
Yep.
When it was open.
Yeah, the Palace is LCA.
LCA's got some good food too.
Got the best
I'll tell
food.
you this: the West Coast, Terry, is so when we were in Vancouver, right, and have pregame skate, guys would literally, if you like salmon, if you like the fish, because you'd have chicken, beef, and fish, guys would take cabs back to the hotel to make sure that they got the salmon for that pregame buffet. The Vancouver one always fresh, everything and stuff like that. So
now you didn't ask, but the worst. Philadelphia 76ers. We got chips.
That's it.
I like
and
chips.
Soda. That was it.
Chips and soda. That sounds like the alumni room. At least they get coffee up there,
Right.
but chips and coffee.
Were they potato chips? They were potato chips? Were they like Lay's or Better Made? Or they don't have Better Made in Philadelphia?
Like Lay's potato chips. But Better Made is the Detroit thing. They didn't do that in Philly.
Well, you know what, Terry?
They didn't give you a Philly cheesesteak?
No, not
No,
even.
we had to go get the chili cheesesteak before we went to the arena, or else we would starve.
That sounds like a good meal. Philly cheesesteak cheesecake. There you go. Let's
That
do
could
it.
work.
But you know what, Terry? It's because you were in Philly. You weren't here in Detroit because you didn't have a guardian alarm. Because they get it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure, especially at the buffet. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home. Yes, control the lights, temperatures, lock it, unlock it, detect smoke, or even that deadly carbon monoxide killer. Yes, the deadly gas. So, are you ready, boys? It's a Friday. We're going to let them have it and let you know how to do it. So, if you're like me, call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Great harmonies, boys. One more for the boys in the back. 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Get out of Fisher's house. Stay out of Terry Foster's castle, the property, wherever it is. With Guardian Alarm, been trusted for over 90 years of keeping families safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. We're Big D Energy. We'll be back with a few of our picks here, Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back here, final segment, Big D Energy on this Friday. A lot of stuff going on, but this is the time we're going to get you right on mybookie.ag. Yes, it is time for our picks. Now, last week, this week, college football, I'd like to know, so Terry, you said both teams will win. Do you believe both teams will cover the spread, starting with Michigan? Do they cover the -1.5 spread against Penn State?
Yeah, with that, I just always pick the team I think is going to win when the spread is that small. So I'm going to go Michigan in that one. I think they will beat Penn State. I'm just not impressed with Penn State.
Not me either, and obviously I know Joy's going with Michigan. Obviously, when you lose to Illinois, he said it earlier on. Check that out in the rewind. So that's all three of us going for Michigan on that one. Anybody else, Fish?
Actually, I'm going for Penn State. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for Penn State.
Wait, dude. Listen, I know why you're doing that, but are you sure? Because did you check in the fine print to see if it was just an all-around thing, or was it just a pro thing, or a college thing too? I think it was just a pro thing.
No. It's college. It's college too. Because I went for Michigan and they lost their first game when I went for them against MSU.
See, it's dangerous to pick against what you want to happen.
Right, but I didn't know if it was caught because I didn't want to get confused.
I know the fine. I had to check the fine print. It's all around. So I'm going for Michigan and I'm going for the Steelers.
Now, I got Michigan. I think that they realize what the Michigan State lost last week, the fact that where they're at the rankings, they got to put up or shut up. So it's game time because we'll find out what they're all about.
That is true.
I got Michigan State. I think they're going to come. They have to come back if there's proofs in the pudding here to cover this spread. So I think they're going to cover the 13 against Maryland.
I think they'll win, but they'll win by 10.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Maryland.
that's a TFOS special right there. You like it. How about you, Joique? Michigan State cover the 13?
Yeah, they do. Easy.
Yeah, they do. Well, let's go to pro.
Yeah,
I mean, is there any?
I gave my reason on why I feel they're going to cover the spread, right? Every top 25 team has beat them by, 15 or more.
Now, the one interesting game, right, that I had my eye is Oklahoma at number 8 playing 13 Baylor. Baylor is home dog at +5.5. Wouldn't you say this is like one of Oklahoma's first big tests? I mean, they got big games coming out, but
because many of us believe Oklahoma are frauds.
Right.
And this is their opportunity to prove that's not the case.
What do you expect?
But I'm going Baylor. I think Oklahoma's going to knock itself out of the...
You think they're a fraud?
Yes.
You do think, so you're saying for the
Fraudulent.
ones, including yourself, that think Oklahoma's fraud.
Some of us, including me,
Yes.
thinks Oklahoma is a fraud.
Well, you know what? I don't know if they're a fraud.
Fraudulent?
Fraudulent.
Okay,
yes,
there we go.
I'm in the fraudulent.
All
You're in
right.
the fraud, but you're the professor. You're allowed to, but
No,
I'm going to go.
I'm allowed to be wrong, too.
Yeah, but you know
I'm
what?
not- I'm
every now and then, it's like Haley's comment.
So right now,
I had this down because I think Baylor is, can come in there and make.
So are we going for
slap
who
a
we
fight.
think we're going to win, or who's going to cover the spread? That's what
I was going with the spread.
Just
for
the
people
spread.
at
Okay.
home.
All right. Cool. All right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
And Baylor has 5.5 points to play with.
And they're at home, and it's the first big test, so those would be the ones to watch. How about looking at the professional games? You got the Falcons at the Cowboys, Saints, Titans, Browns, Pats, Seahawks, Packers, Chiefs, Raiders, Lions, Steelers. Any jump out to you, Terry?
Ooh, the Titans is the team to beat right now.
Chiefs and Raiders, because we keep waiting for the Chiefs to turn into the Kansas City Chiefs, and it hasn't really happened. I don't think it's going to happen again for another week at least.
Really? So
Yeah.
you thinking Raiders are
Raiders?
You thinking Raiders win, or you thinking they cover?
I'm taking the Raiders against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I understand, but what I'm asking is, the Raiders are -2.5. Oh,
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to the Chiefs getting points.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
They're
my
getting points.
bad. My eyes were deceiving. I just automatically
because we're waiting for this thing to happen.
So, and for people to know, because I just found this out, that -14 means they get points, and the plus means they actually lose points. And so I didn't know that because I'm not a bettor. But if I did bet, I will go out and I'll head over to my bookie. If I did. Oh, we got next. So we got the Lions versus the Steelers. Once again, I told you I can't go for the Lions because every time I've gone for the Lions, they lost. So I'm going for the Steelers. Patriots and the Browns.
Patriots and the Browns.
You know what, man? I don't have a dog in this fight.
Nick Chubb.
You going with Nick Chubb? I'm going.
No, he's tested COVID positive, so I don't know if he's going to be available for.
I got Mac Jones. I got Mac Jones leading the scene. I got Mac Jones leading the scene. He led them 5-4. This is definitely a capable win for him. He's been playing decent all year. I like for him to go. I like for him to go ahead and get this win against the Browns. And the Browns is dealing with some turmoil right now with losing Odell. And they're dealing with it the best they can. So I'm gonna go with Mac Jones right here. And the Titans versus the Saints. So that's the game that jumps out to me. You have the Seahawks against Green Bay, but the game that I'm more excited to see is the Saints versus the Titans.
And who you got
The
now?
dangerous thing, the Browns look better without Odell.
No, they do, and you know what? That's the Chubb hurts him if he doesn't play. But you look at that defense, and they showed me something against Cincinnati. And if they want to be the team that we expect them to be, making that next step, right? Which I would put the Browns. The Wings are making this step to the next level. They're trying to make that next playoff step. They need to win this game, and what a better way to go in.
Yeah, I think the Browns are in the process of trying to learn how to win important games.
Yes, but they've come out and they've played well in important games. Their defense is to me. I think that I'm not sold. Even Belichick and Mac, I'm not sold because it's still the same type of offense. They're still the same type of team.
Browns in a game like this 4 or 5 years ago would just get smoked.
Yeah, that line would have been 9.5.
9.5, and they lose by 20.
Yeah, no, but that's where you look and you go, okay, this ain't the same Browns team. Before we get going, Joique, what you got going this weekend, bro?
This weekend, I'm heading back down to Benton Harbor today. Son, they made the third round of the playoffs. So 2 more games. They'll be here at Ford Field.
When's the next game?
Tonight.
All right.
Tonight 7 o'clock.
Who are they battling?
What was it? Palmer Western.
Okay.
Palmer Western.
Feel good about this game? Or is
I
it going to
feel
be a
good.
challenge?
Every game. You're in the playoffs, so every game. So the thing I liked about it, so I was a little disappointed because they started the season off 5-0 and went on for the last 4 games, the games that they could have won, but just costly mistakes. And but I feel confident they came into the playoffs with a mindset of this is a new season. Won their first game away against a team they haven't beaten in years. People said they were unbeatable. They came back and played their school rival And Lakeshore, the team that they lost to in the regular season that they should have won, came back and beat them in the playoff, and now they're going against a team in Palmer Western. They haven't played them yet, and so I haven't seen them on film yet. So I'll be there at the game and see what they do.
Well, we're looking for reports next week. How about you, T. Foss? You into the you going for apple cider donuts at the?
I'm going to chill out this weekend because next weekend I get my daughter for for Thanksgiving. She's going to come in for a week, so I'm going to make sure that I'm all rested, and because I know she's going to have me going all over the place.
Yeah, get some rest at your old age.
Yeah, because I got to shop for her and
great
get her all kinds of
self-awareness,
crap.
T. Foss. That's right. We got Thanksgiving come up. Anyways, thanks for another great week here, Big D Energy. Don't worry. Stick, great job filling in. T. Foss, thank you as always.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Joique Bell next week. Don't worry, the yacht's back. Neal Ruhl's back. I'll see everybody GCW tonight. Wings game tomorrow. Black Label Society is in on Sunday night at the Fillmore. For Terry Foster, Joique Bell, Sawyer Fish, I'm Darren McCarty. We're Big D Energy. Deuces. See you later.